Now that all the playoff preview videos for the first round of the 2024 OHL playoffs are posted on the channel, thought I'd take some time to do a news video because there's still some stuff going on around the Ontario Hockey League that's worth talking about. And we're going to start off with the Peterborough Petes because there was some exciting news announced at last night's awards banquet for the Peterborough Petes. They announced during the ceremony that they have signed head coach Rob Wilson to an 8-year extension. That was one question mark going into the offseason was, would Wilson stick around with the Petes? And if he did, how long? And we got our answer last night. An 8-year commitment to the Maroon and Whites. And the length is kind of unique. You don't usually hear a head coach signing for 8 years. It's 5 years longer than the previous high of 3 years in Peterborough Petes history when it comes to a head coach. So for Rob Wilson, obviously, he loves what he's doing right now with the Peterborough Petes. And two, the management and the board of directors, they like what they see with this Peterborough Petes team. Of course, they're coming off the championship last year, and then this season, taking that step back, but that was kind of intentional as they're looking to the future. They want to be a competitive team down the road, and that's how junior hockey works. For most teams, the cycle is you have your competitive years, and then you have your lean years, and then you come back. So you build up through the draft, and you pick up that young talent. And that's exactly what the Peterborough Petes did at the OHL trade deadline, bringing in players like Caden Taylor and Aiden Young, Nico Addy, a lot of young talents. And for Rob Wilson, he's committed to seeing this transition for the Peterborough Petes as they try to get back to a competitive status in the Ontario Hockey League's Eastern Conference. And so for Wilson, he's been pretty good with this team. He's gotten this team to the playoffs 4 out of the 5 years that he was head coach. And he has 154 wins in the OHL so far. So he's getting the job done. And really, when I talked to Stu Kernan, the radio play-by-play voice of the Peterborough Petes, we were talking about how the culture seems to have shifted a bit with this Petes organization. And under this leadership, Dave Lawrence, he's the president of the board of directors, and he says that they're wanting to do another championship run within the next 8 years. That's the goal of the organization. And it's exciting to see with Peterborough. And then they also set a new attendance record this year. So even the fans have been buying into the situation with Peterborough. So a lot of optimism going forward, and Wilson doing a great job. And we'll see what he's able to do over these next 8 years. And for the Peterborough Petes, they're also focused on tonight's OHL Draft Lottery. That takes place at 7 o'clock. So if you're a fan of the Petes, Ice Dogs, Spitfires, or Sting, you're going to want to take note to find out who will be selecting first overall in the 2024 OHL entry draft. And how it breaks down is that the Niagara Ice Dogs, they finished last in the OHL standings. So they have the best odds of winning the draft lottery. They have a 40% chance. Then 30% for Windsor. Peterborough, they have a 20% chance. And for the Sarnia Sting, they have a 10% chance of winning the OHL Draft Lottery. So it's exciting for those franchises after a season which was a little frustrating at times. I'm thinking about teams like the Windsor Spitfires and the Niagara Ice Dogs who expected a little more coming into the season. We kind of expected Peterborough and Sarnia to be maybe taking that step back and maybe missing the playoffs, and that's what ended up happening. But those two franchises, I feel like, are on the right path. And if one of them win the draft lottery, that'll just expedite the rebuild process, I would feel, as there's some pretty good talent in this upcoming draft. I'm planning to have an interview done with somebody in the near future who has seen a lot of these young players in action. So look forward to that interview down the road, closer to the OHL draft. And remember to hit subscribe so then you're notified about when that interview does come up. So again, the draft lottery, it is tonight. Only the Niagara Ice Dogs, Windsor Spitfires, Peterborough Petes, and Sarnia Sting are eligible to win the draft lottery. And also to note, I'm planning to do videos recapping the seasons of these 4 teams, just talking about how they ended up where they did and what kind of questions do these organizations have going forward in regards to the rebuild. What's their overager situation looking like for next season? So I'll be doing those videos probably within the next week or two, and then I'll probably do that as well with the other teams as they get knocked out of the playoffs. So stay tuned for that as well, as this channel, it's continuing to grow, and I'm having fun with it. I love doing those playoff preview videos over the last couple days. It took a bit of work to put together, but it was still a lot of fun. So I'm looking to continue that going into the off season. So we'll see what we all have in store. Now, it was also announced yesterday the OHL regular season award winners. Starting off, the Eddie Powers Memorial Trophy for the top scorer officially goes to David Goyette of the Sudbury Wolves. Goyette, outstanding season for him. He registered 40 goals, 77 assists, good for 117 points in 68 games. So that 117 points, it's the most recorded by a Sudbury Wolves player since Norm Milley did it in 1998-99. He had 120 points that season, although he didn't win the Eddie Powers Trophy that year. So scoring was pretty high. I'm assuming I'd have to look into the record books just to see who actually won that year. But 120 points and not winning the Eddie Powers Trophy, kind of surprising. But for the Sudbury Wolves, Goyette becomes the third player to win the scoring race. The last player to do it was Michael Scarbosa in the 2011-2012 season. I covered the Sudbury Wolves that year, and that was a fun finish to the season. It was between Scarbosa and Tyler Toffoli of the Ottawa 67s for the lead in the scoring race that year, and Scarbosa was able to do that in the final game of the season against the Kingston Frontenacs. So it's cool to see Scarbosa's name here being mentioned with David Goyette. And the other Sudbury Wolves player to win the Eddie Powers Trophy was Mike Foligno, and he did that back in the 1978-79 season. So Goyette in some good company with that award for the top scorer in the Ontario Hockey League. Also being handed out, the Dave Pinky Trophy for the lowest goals against average, and that went to Michael Simpson and Owen Wilmore of the London Knights. They had the lowest team goals against average, and it's not really surprising considering the season that the London Knights have. They ended the year winning the Hamilton Spectator Trophy for regular season champions. And for Simpson, it's been an amazing 12 months for him. He won the OHL championship with the Peterborough Petes at the end of last season, then got traded to his hometown team, the London Knights, and he has been dominant this season, looking to make it back-to-back championships. And for Simpson, he had the league best 2.61 goals against average. He was second in wins with 34, so he got the job done. And then Owen Wilmore, yes, he's the backup goaltender, but he was doing pretty good himself. His last 12 games were wins, and they were all in regulation. So job well done for both Simpson and Wilmore as they split that trophy for lowest team goals against. And the last award that was announced, the WF Dinty Moore Trophy for best rookie goals against average, that goes to Jack Ivankovic of the Mississauga Steelheads. The 16-year-old registered a 2.78 goals against average, and he was solid in his first year with the Steelheads. And of course, Mississauga, that's his hometown. So he got to play in front of friends and family all year long with the Mississauga Steelheads, now heading into the playoffs to take on the Sudbury Wolves. For Ivankovic, he had a record of 14-5-4 and a pretty stellar save percentage of .915. So it's going to be interesting to see if he does get the start in Game 1 tomorrow night when the Steelheads host Sudbury in the first round of the playoffs, or do they go with Ryerson Leanders? You can't go wrong with either goaltender in Mississauga. And Steelhead fans must be pretty excited about the future for this organization. Of course, they're moving to Brampton next year, so we'll have to start getting used to saying the Brampton Steelheads come in a spring training camp in end of August, early September. So that's the news items for today. It's an exciting time of year because the playoffs, they start tomorrow. There's 4 games tomorrow, and if you haven't seen any of the playoff preview videos that I posted, you can go check them out on the channel. And yeah, it's an exciting time of year. Can't wait to call some playoff games. I'll be going on the road to follow the Barrie Colts just to see how they do in Oshawa. I'll be doing recap videos here on the channel for games 1 and 2. And then, of course, Gene and I will have the call on Rogers TV when the series shifts back to Barrie for game 3 on Tuesday. So thank you very much for tuning in. You can leave comments down below your thoughts on the signing of Rob Wilson, the head coach of the Peterborough Petes, or any of the other news items. And don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and we'll talk to you again soon.